Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tom. As he said, my name is Richard Carrillo, and I'm incredibly humbled to be able to stand in front of these fine musicians today. But even more so, to be able to perform this music for, as Tom said, the Mass. It has been a dream of mine to use my gifts as music to help bring attention to the Mass, and I've just felt, particularly during this season of Eucharistic revival we're having here in the country, to do our part as musicians to help bring greater attention to the Eucharist and to the Mass. As you may or may not know, this Mass is fairly unique from a cultural perspective in that it was originally conceived as a dual feast day to celebrate Our Lady of Guadalupe and Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. So you have the patroness of Mexico and the patroness of America making up the Mass of the Americas. And so from the Mexican perspective, there's, if you're familiar with the mariachi tunes, La Guadalupana or Las Mañanitas, and you listen enough and carefully, you'll hear these melodies permeated through the entire Mass, sometimes overtly, sometimes very subtly. There's also a solo that will be sung by the incomparable Dr. Alex Coliizzi of singing the first known Ave Maria in the Nahuatl language of the Aztec people. This would have been the language that Juan Diego would have spoken to Our Lady of Guadalupe. And so it's been a really special way of being able to bring that language and that text to life, knowing that that was probably the original language that they were speaking in. Also, in looking at here in America, when many people think of American sacred choral music, American sacred choral music, they start on the East Coast, and rightfully so, because the Protestants brought so much of a beautiful hymnody tradition with the hymn books and bringing that whole music to life. But to look at the start of Catholic music here in the country, we have to go a little bit further west to the Spanish missions in Texas and California. And so this in particular Mass of the Americas begins with a melody that was started in the California missions to help catechize people on the teachings of Mary. So as people were walking to the missions and to the early churches, they would be singing this melody. So what a better fitting way to start the Mass of the Americas than starting with the melody that truly originated as one of the first Catholic choral pieces here in our land. So, it's going to be an incredible evening. I encourage you to really enter into prayer if you can. For all my Catholic friends, I hope and pray that tonight only strengthens and deepens your relationship with the Lord and the Mass and the Eucharist. For all of our Christian friends here who may not be Catholic, I ask that I hope that tonight helps to strengthen what we do have in common, and that is a common love for God and for Jesus. And for all of our friends who may not be of Christian faith or may not have any faith, we are honored by your presence here and know that you are welcomed. And we hope that tonight you experience peace and love in all of our pursuits for truth, beauty, and goodness. While I know you may appreciate, or I hope you appreciate the music today, I ask that you remember that this is still the context of a prayer service. So we ask that you please don't applaud during the Mass, and to also please silence your cell phones that you may have, and that we'll just take a few moments to quiet our hearts in preparation for the Mass. And with that, I present to you the Sacred Liturgy of the Mass, accompanied by the music of Frank LaRocca's Mass of the Americas.